So we've got our species determined and we've got some maps of their distributions in here. Now let's see if we can fill in some information about what these plants look like. So I think probably it's easier for me to show you the resource of the Flora of North America project. You can get similar information from the Wisconsin Flora book, but this is a nice one we can use electronically. And this is going to relate to something we've done in one of the labs previously also. So we did the dichotomous keys lab, and that allowed us to collect some data about morphology. So one of the things you might lead in with in your talking about the genus, if you wanted to, you could go up, well, more like I'd strongly recommend you be able to do this. Tell people what family the genus belongs to. So Sagittaria is in this family Elismataceae. And if you want to know how to identify the genus Sagittaria, there's a description here. And then the dichotomous keys are handy because they highlight features that are specific to the genus. So maybe over here we could add another slide on our presentation. And this is where we can add this information. A lot of the groups you're going to cover, we will have covered. Hopefully we'll have covered by the time you get your project together, but also you want to basically put the context in for the bigger picture. In this class, we've covered Elismataceae already in the aquatics section. So we talked about the fact that it's a monocot family, the whorled inflorescence, many separate carpels, the parallel venation, sometimes with this arrowhead kind of leaf. So those were features for Elismataceae, and then a little more specific if you need to, this would tell it apart from other genera. Echinodorus, I don't know if we have those in Wisconsin, so your Wisconsin Flora might have a little bit different perspective on how to identify the genus specifically. So we're going to try to limit ourselves to Wisconsin, or at least this region. But globally, also, you'd be able to give people enough information to identify the genus against everything else in the world if you needed to. So I'll just put that on there for now. I don't know if it's comprehensive yet. Compressed fruits, good to know what we're contrasting to. So fruits mostly plump versus fruits compressed. Lateral wing on the fruit, longitudinally ribbed. So I think that's pretty helpful once we get some images together. I'll show you some resources. We have lots of resources to get images. So just some examples here. I did a search for seed. This is technically fruits. I had a hunch when you have an achene fruit type, sometimes people will really shorthand down to, they just call them seeds. And technically they're seeds inside, but also technically they're more like a nut. Ooh. Okay. So we're going to copy that image over here and just put that on. So I'm just sort of building up images. Long term, it's good if you can source your images. I think for myself, I don't keep track of the image sources, so I'm a little guilty of electronic thievery, I suppose. But if you ever go to publishing or sharing something, or certainly profiting off of what you've done, you want to be able to source your images and make sure everyone's credited properly. So Google Images is one option for searching, but I want to warn you that basically searching the internet for a name and getting images that come up as a result, not guaranteed to give you what you're looking for. So this is a pretty distinctive group, but maybe we can spin down and eventually you'll get just sort of a misidentified. Yeah, so here's one. So if you just went in, whatever we're looking for here. If you're looking for images and you pull up something like this, here's a couple, in fact. So we did a search for Sagittaria seed. Now, the first results were good results, as far as I could tell. But if you get far enough down, this is a sedge. This is a Carex species, and it's coming in at Amazon.com, arrowhead, Sagittaria latifolia. So not everything on the internet, surprise, big surprise, not everything on the internet is reputably sourced. So just be aware, consider your sources. Here's another one. This is in family Araceae, and it's coming in as arrowhead, Sagittaria latifolia. So people selling plants will sometimes, honestly, they'll say whatever they need to get their sales made, right? So let's go to a more reputable image source. A couple ones that I like. Minnesota Wildflowers is good. Also Illinois Wildflowers. The Wisconsin Florida site, I don't think they've really done as much of equivalent image gathering as these other sites. So fortunately, between Minnesota and Illinois, we have almost all the same species, at least between one of those resources. So let's do a search. Another good one is the New England Botanical Club. I think they're the sponsors of this. It's called Go Botany. Let's find out. Go Botany, nope. Go Botany something. gobotany.nativeplanttrust.org. So here's another one. And this one also has keys, nice interactive keys if you wanted to use them. This is more geared toward New England, so plants that we share with New England are sometimes more our northern species. You see lots of the same species, so Cuneata graminea, Latifolia montevidensis rigida were all plants we could find in Wisconsin as well. So let's go back to Minnesota. Here's a good representation. I don't see Sagittaria brevirostra. On our map on the left here, it shows us that it should be found in Minnesota, but maybe it's not, not an important enough contribution from that state. So maybe we'll come back to that one. Maybe we'll go to Illinois. Let's see what Illinois has got. Dun, 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 dun. Where's my search? Search, there we go. Go back. All right, search. Send anyway. I'm going to let the world know that I'm searching for Sagittaria. All right. Maybe this search leaves something to be desired. Sagittaria brevirostra. Who's got the brevirostra? Floral visitors. Nope. Maybe. Nope. That tells us what insects go to visit this plant. Interesting. Not coming up as a popular source. For North America, plants profile. USDA plants is sometimes good. They're a little short on images, but they would be a little more curated. There's an illustration. All right. Maybe what I really wanted to show you was we want to kind of focus in on maybe illustrating the features that are more distinctive of a species. So if we, one thing we could do is we could just jump to the description, and then we could also, as we did for the genus, we could look for the features that are useful for telling this plant apart from its close relatives. So within the state, this might actually, so couplet 22 tells Sagittaria australis from Sagittaria brevirostra. Those are not both found in Wisconsin. Couplet 21 goes to Sagittaria brevirostra. That's another species, Sagittaria engelmanniana, that's not found in the state. So I'm backtracking. So 21 goes to 21 versus 23 will lead you to Sagittaria cuneata and latifolia. So this could be useful, this feature that leads you to 21. The only Wisconsin plant that you can get to from 21 is Sagittaria brevirostra. So potentially, let me get some text in here. So Brax distinct versus Brax connate. Well, that sounds a little tricky. Offhand, I don't know which Brax they're talking about. One of these plants was supposed to be Sagittaria brevirostra. And we could go to the description here. Dun, 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 illustrated. All right. I think maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves for this one. So why don't I make another video that shows us how to maybe get a little more comprehensive look at the morphology that tells these different species apart. It'll be the same as the exercise we did for the dichotomous keys. I'm going to start putting these into a spreadsheet and comparing their equivalent features. So for now, we'll stop this one and